bro gonna make dubstep with me. So, welcome to another video after a very long break because of school. Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how I made every single bass in my song Guns in My House. I used 11 of them in total. Some of them are main basses, some of them are just in the background with a bit less frequency spectrum. We'll also go through all the growls and the sub bass also. Ow. Okay, without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Also W lightning. Magic stick lightsaber. Another video will be studio tour. So let's jump straight into the build up where I use my first bass. It's bass 8 combined with bass 5, so I'll show you 8. This is how it sounds like by itself. And here is bass 5. This is more of a lead, but I called it bass because it's really aggressive and heavy. Very good. Use 3 default shapes, 1 saw wave and 2 sine waves. You can copy these settings, all of them. Add a little bit of attack and release on the first envelope, so it will remove the click sound at the beginning and at the end, which is really annoying. And we're using only one LFO for everything. So make one LFO look like this, set the rate like this, and use it to automate the wavetable position and sync on the saw wave from 0 to 100%. It's not on 100 because I lowered this a bit, but if you want, you can adjust this to taste. Then use the flanger and the diffuser filter with these settings on both of them. And here you can copy the effects. Also automate the mix on the hyper with the same LFO we used before. From 0 to 33%. Oh my god. Yeah, this is some f***ing heavy bass. The problem here is that I'm using mounted wavetables. If you would like to download them, I'll leave the link in the description. This one precisely is the Spectral Gravel 2. I have a folder here, presets, serum, and here I have few wavetables. I just open the Spectral Gravel wavetables and just drag it and place it here. Now I have this. So you can pause the video and go download it, but you can use any wavetables. It's on you. You can try some default spectral wavetable for that. Let's select like Monster one for example. Okay, this one doesn't sound that good. Okay, maybe without the diffuser filter it would sound better, but I'm using the diffuser filter. Maybe that's why it sounds so bad. But I'm switching back to my Spectral Gravel 2. So besides this, use 2 sine waves as well. You can copy these settings on all of them. Use 2 FMs, not 1 this time. Without the FM. And with. I also forgot to add unison, you can do that too. For more width. Then use the BP12 filter with these settings on it. Make one LFO look like this and automate the cutoff like this. From 24 to 3200 Hz. Then make one LFO look like this and use it to automate the X position on this LFO. It will do this effect. So it has a bit more movement. Here you can copy the effect settings. I also am using some macros for variations. You can automate this later to make more variations. Bass 10. Let's have a look. Same LFOs, same FM, same filter, same automation, just a bit different range. Sub is enabled here. Here I'm using Spectral Gravel 8 instead of 2. And here are similar effects, maybe even the same. More subby bass, focused more in the lows than in the mid and highs. I just almost f***ed up my microphone. In the build-ups, there are the same basses. Here we have 3 new basses. Let's check them out. Bass 2, bass 1, bass 4. Let's start with bass 1. Well, I'm on the filter. Here I'm using the Spectral Gravel 14. one saw wave and one sine wave. You can copy these settings, all of them. I forgot to add a bit of attack and release. Then use the BP12 filter with these settings on it. Make one LFO look like this. And automate the cutoff on the BP12 filter from 24 to 3200. Here you can copy the effect settings. Here I also used PIC12 filter with these settings and automate the cutoff like this with the same LFO we used before to add a little bit more movement. And diffuser is also being linked to the macros. Now the second bass. Very minimal, just for the background. Use 24 sine harmonic 2, one saw wave. This is saw wave as well, I guess. It's so f***ing distorted I can tell you this. You can copy these settings on all of them. Also some sub and noise with these settings. Bit of attack and release on the first envelope bass always. Then make one LFO look like this and use it to automate the cutoff like this on the MG ladder with these settings. And here you can copy the effects. I later automated the cutoff, so it gets a bit more aggressive. Now let's jump to bass 4. Similar to bass 1, I just switched the spectral wavetable to a basic sine wave. You can copy these settings on all of them. Bit of attack and release on first envelope. Make one LFO look like this and automate the cutoff on the BP12 filter again as last time. Here you can copy the effects. Again I used PIC12 to add a bit more movement. Holy sh! I don't know why I call it a growl. It's a bass, but like it's a growl, okay. Oh my god, how many is to only one? Let me try Sine Shaper on max. Okay, let's stick with overdrive. Spectre Growl 6 and 2 default shapes. You can copy these settings on all of them. Add a little bit of attack and release on the first envelope. I'm saying it all the time like a retard. Then use a flanger filter and diffuser filter with these settings on it. Sub and noise with these settings. Then make one LFO look like this and use it to automate the wavetable position on the Spectre Gravel. And let's jump into effects. I don't know why I have sync enabled here when I'm not using it. Why I hate it here? It sounds terrible with it. And here you can copy the effect settings. And the last thing you want to do is automate the mix on the hyper with the same LFO we used before, from 0 to 25%. I'm not always saying the exact numbers, from how many percent to how many percent or hertz, because it doesn't have to be 100% accurate. If you will do it like this, for example, it will still sound good and you just made a different variation, you know. So I don't have to say exact numbers. I am not doing this video, so you can just copy the bass and use it, but you can make a different variation out of this. You can use same wavetables, same filter, same effects, and just tweak it differently so it sounds different. Videos like these are good for people which are trying to learn sound design. They want to do some heavy bass or something, ARP, lead, anything, and the final product sounds like trash. These videos are for those people. So they can just copy what I do and then tweak almost everything so it sounds different. You can use different wavetable. It sounds different and it still sounds f***ing amazing. Or you can do this, for example. This is a really useful tool too, and I haven't seen many people using this. We already went through these basses, but here you have a sub bass. Use one default saw wave and one sine wave as a sub on -2 octave with level on 95%. The noise is very important because without the noise it sounds like this. And with noise, most of the sound comes from the noise. Again, I have two disabled wavetables with sync on for some reason. What was I? Use flanger filter with these settings on it, diffuser with these settings. Use the default LFO to automate the wavetable position like this. And here you can copy the effects. Again, as in the previous basses, use the first LFO to automate the mix. Maybe you noticed everything is similar here. When we want to talk about LFOs and effects, because I just copied the bass I created like this by pressing clone here and then tweaked it to sound a bit different. It's very useful because if you make another bass from scratch, it doesn't have to fit into the previous bass. It can sound completely different and it would clash. It just wouldn't sound good together. So by copying the bass you already created and tweaking everything in it, you'll have a higher chance that it will actually sound good with the other basses. Like 90% of the basses here are just variations of another basses I created. Bass number 3. Use the crude wavetable, one saw wave and one allophones wavetable. You can copy these settings on all of them. Use the BP12 filter with these settings on it. Make one LFO look like this and automate the cutoff on the BP12 filter. And make one LFO look like this to automate the wavetable position like this. Then in the effects you can copy these settings. Another growl. Similar to the first one. You see? It sounds similar, so it goes well together. Again, almost identical wavetables, filters, effects, just tweaked differently. Spectral growl 5, 2 sine waves, you can copy these settings on all of them. Sub-wave level all the way up. My dog is licking my knee. Noise with level on 30% on the AC. Flanger filter and diffuser filter with these settings on it. Then you can copy these effect settings. And use the first LFO to automate the mix in the hyper. Also the wavetable position, I forgot almost. Bass 7. The same thing, just different tweakings and wavetables. Spectral growl 15, 2 sine waves, you can copy these settings on all of them. Same LFO as before, same automations as before. You can copy these settings on the filters. Noise on 29% on the AC. And these effects, again, same thing as before. Elisio, you are lazy shit, you make similar stuff, bro. That's how it is supposed to be done. Sounds similar equals sounds good together. Most of the time it's like that. Bass 6. Let's have a look. Laser bass. Pre-default shapes, you can copy these settings on all of them. Bit of release on the first envelope. Make the first LFO look like this and use it to automate the sub on active -1 from 0 to 100%. And make one LFO look like this to automate the level on the default shapes like this. Then in the effects you can copy these settings and make the first LFO to automate the drive on the synth pole. This bass or lead, or how you can call it as you want, is similar to this sound. Just a lot more heavy, a lot more distortion and reverb. One saw wave and 2 sine waves, you can copy these settings on all of them. Sub on -2 wave level on 75%. Make the first LFO look like this and use it to automate the wavetail position on the default shapes from 0 to 100%. And the sync from 0 to 100. Again, it won't go all the way to 100 because I lowered this a bit, because all the way up it sounds kinda bad. Maybe it will be good for some background noise stuff, things. Bit of attack and release on the first envelope. Flanger filter and diffuser filter with these settings on it. Then in the effects you can copy these settings. And that's all. You can also activate the porta on all ways you can play with. You can also enable mono legato if you want. What mono does is that only one sound can be played at a time. So if I play one note, with another one, you won't hear two sounds. But if I turn this off, yeah, it sounds terrible. What legato does is that the envelopes and LFOs won't refresh after you play another note while the first one is still playing. If I play one note and then another one, the LFOs won't reset. It will just continue. You see, I played second note, it didn't reset. Now I'll turn legato off. I played another note and the LFO reset it. Here in the effects you can copy these settings, and that's all. Very heavy lead. Bass 9. It's the same as bass 5, but I didn't use triggered LFO, I just use envelope. So it won't refresh it every time. So I won't have to go through this again, you can just copy the settings from the previous bass 5. Here I use the same growls as before, now the bass 10. Same LFOs as in the bass 5. Use spectral gravel 8 and 2 sine waves, you can copy these settings on all of them. Make one LFO look like this to automate wavetable position like this. Sub-on level all the way up. Automated cutoff on the BP12 filter with these settings. And here you can copy the effects. Now bass 11. This is the last bass. Again, very similar as every single bass in this song, just different variation again. Spectral gravel 1 and 2 sine waves, you can copy these settings on all of them. BP12 filter, automate the cutoff with this LFO and the wavetable position on the spectral wavetable. Then make the second LFO look like this and use it to automate the X position on the first LFO. And here you can copy the effect settings. And that's every single bass in this song. Besides that, I used several heads. I used 3 snares and 1 clap in total. Some background noise. Another clap, I should place this here. Some vocal samples, head samples, some risers, an impact. And a lot of automations. Most of the automation clips are frequency modulations, some pitch bends like here for example. This is what I call formula bass. I just use the lead sound and pitch it up. It literally sounds like Formula or a car, bro. Okay, that's all for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. If you want more videos like this, subscribe please, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe I motivated you to create some heavy bass shit stuff, you know? Everyone likes heavy bass shit stuff. Okay, I just realized almost no one likes heavy bass shit stuff. Little bro is sleeping. Again, thank you very much for watching and see you in another video. Bye bye.